Ну а возвращаясь к Гармину, Дэйв Миллер обещал уходить, кстати говоря. И что же, их держит, слава богу, не ушел. Дэн Мартин, который тоже еще пока не настолько вкатан, и не будет сразу прям сходу в этой звезды неба, но придает очень большое значение этой гонке в плане стратегии сезона. Никнейм, вот, учитывая то, как он ехал на моих глазах во время...
Looking back down to the peloton, Tom Bonen has pulled the parachute. He swings off and steps out of the way. Harada, Cumier, they've been caught. Didier about to be. Luke Rowe still doing the job. The 24-year-old celebrated his birthday just a couple of days ago.
Такое было ощущение, что он готовится к чему-то позже. И себя там немножко сдерживает. Так что, может быть, как раз сейчас раскроется. Лански и Фанзумеры. Вот состав подопечных Чарли Вегелиуса. Ля Премерида. И этот усилившийся состав обладает весьма приличной скоростью. Но не успевает перехватить 50 метров. Ну, на волоске лидерство BMC. Но волосок этот так и не оборвался. Итальянцы заезжают только третьими. Очень высокая плотность результата. Вы видите, и в районе 53.
And Geraint Thomas now sitting in second position. So Geraint Thomas, the former British national champion, he is well placed, the ideal position. Sits in fifth place overall, 21 seconds off that yellow jersey. Former world champion Thor Hushoff losing contact. Finished in 8th place yesterday. It was 5th the day before. He's off the back today, Thor Hushoff. And Degenkolb is looking very good. Being able to put that poor performance behind him.
По крайней мере,
Riders now losing contact. Simon Gerrans is amongst them.
Майку лидера генеральной классификации в последующие дни.
Well, Simon Gerrans, the man who got him into the sport, Phil Anderson,
Лев
is celebrating his 56th birthday today. There's no birthday present given to Phil Anderson from here.
Но ответ должен все-таки прозвучать. 5 колец Москвы и на нефть гонки не 2 гонки, а 3 гонки в Московской в мае на нефти. Да, это все будет. Ну, а мы возвращаемся.
This is the leader of the green jersey classification. Well, actually sits in second spot there, but Nasser Bouhanni, the winner of the first stage, he concedes that this is just one climb too many for him. It's Sebastian Chavanel who was keeping him company. Well, privately, I'm sure he'll be hoping that his brother, although being on a different team, will be still towards the front. Reno Hoffland was also losing contact. Well, AG2R Le Mondial. And the yellow jersey just about losing contact. John Degenkolb, a few gaps starting to open up. If he can just survive across the top, he might be in business. Greg Van Uverman is there in the red colours. Vincenzo Nibali is there. This is proving to be a very difficult climb, and the steepest part is still yet to come. Santaneo going off the back, the leader of the King of the Mountains classification. Christophe Libery, he will not be wearing the jersey at the end of the day. That will be moving across to Valerio Agnoli. Look at the grimace of pain on the face of Edbel Bosenhagen. He is fighting desperately to stay in contact. The world champion moves forward with Wilco Kelderman riding alongside him. And Degenkolb is almost holding on. 1 kilometre to the top. Thomas Voeckler, the previous winner here in Belleville. That was in 2011. He won't be repeating. Here's Carlos Betancourt now making a move, the Colombian. They're looking to go long range. He's had a good start to the season. 5th in last year's Giro d'Italia when he was the winner of the white jersey for the best young rider. He has waited for the steepest part of the climb to make his move. The challenge is that once he gets over the top, there's 14.5 kilometres still to go. The legs have seized up with lactic acid. Geraint Thomas is controlling the main field. And Michael Matthews is still there for Orica Green Edge. Degenkolb, the yellow jersey, holding on. Nibali, Tom Jelte-Slagter, Wilco Kelderman, Greg Van Uverman is there. Stieber has managed to hold on. This is further back down the road. Galeno. As Jelle Venenda is losing contact. Well, there's still some 30, 40 odd riders that are in this group, and 14 kilometres to go once they get over the top. 1 kilometre still to the top of the climb. And Betancourt goes again, and the reaction is coming from Michael Matthews. That was Fabian Wegman just running off the road. Whoop. That is one of the more peculiar crashes that I think I've ever seen. Carlos Betancourt continues. And here comes another move. I'm expecting this to be Tom Jelte-Slagter. It is Tom Jelte-Slagter, the Dutchman, the new recruits across to the Garmin Sharp team, who's decided to go on the move. Well, this is Bosenhagen. After another great performance riding in support for Geraint Thomas. And Francesco Gavazzi is the rider who is just in front of him. Unfortunately for Tom Jelte-Slagter, once he does get over the top, he's still on his own. It's such a long way through to the finish. And that's almost a pleading look across the shoulder, hoping that somebody comes across to support him. Well, this is a man who's been a winner at the Tour Down Under in the past and particularly performed well on a climb similar to this one, but this is the news of the day, particularly for the French. Sylvain Chavanel, after his big chase to get back on, one of the pre-race favourites, is losing contact with a peloton that still contains some 30 riders. Geraint Thomas now. Well, Geraint Thomas, another man who performed well at the Tour Down Under last year when Tom Jelte-Slagter went out the overall winner. Wilco Kelderman in the green colours of Belkin. The world champion, Rui Costa. He is the rider that sits at the front in white. Well, the extended training down in Mallorca is serving well for Tom Jelte-Slagter. Olympic Games gold medalist, now focusing very much on the road. Nicolas Portel said that for Team Sky, they were split between both Geraint Thomas and Richie Porte to be the leader of the team at this race. Well, Porte's not here, so it's now Thomas who assumes. Wilco Kelderman making the move for the Belkin squad. Across the top. Well, at the very least, for Tom Jelte-Slagter, he collects 7 points in the race for the King of the Mountains jersey. Geraint Thomas across the top. Wilco Kelderman then over in third position. And how much can they persist off the front? They'll be pleased to hear that Sylvain Chavanel has lost contact. This is Steve Cummings in the red colours of BMC Racing. And a whole host of riders in red. Chavanel, that is the group containing Chavanel. We work our way further forward. This is now Sebastian Langeveld, another new recruit for the Garmin Sharp team. Another Dutchman, Slagter, with Geraint Thomas. And this could be Izagirre from Movistar, and if it is Izagirre, this is a guy who really does know how to descend. Slagter across the top in first, Geraint Thomas in third. It was Kelderman who went over the top next. And it is Aguirre in 4th position. So that is the composition of the 4 leaders. Slagter, Thomas, Kelderman, and then Izaguirre. And there's the yellow jersey of John Degenkolb on the wheel of Michael Matthews. These are 2 young sprinters who are proving to be reasonably strong climbers. 2 big contenders for the Spring Classics throughout their career. And the rider in red who was in front of them, that looked very much like the figure of Tony Galopin. Here comes Izaguirre. Arthur Bichot around the corner, the French national champion. The chase now is really on. Confirmation of the points across the top. Carlos Betancourt it was in 5th position. So here's the yellow jersey of John Degenkolb. He is in with a chance to close it back down. Not only close it back down, but potentially win the stage and go back to back. A lot of work to do. It's ambitious, but John Degenkolb, he is ambitious. Well, if these 2 can work together, that will really start to shape the general classification. A race with a course that is sure to provide surprises, and Tom Jeltzer-Slagter and Geraint Thomas delivering the first of them. Where's Rui Costa, the world champion, the white colours? 2 riders from Astana chasing in a group of 4. You would assume that includes Vincenzo Nibali. Inside the final 13K. And there's a large group now starting to form behind Izaguirre and Kelderman. Looks as if there's about 10 riders in that group. Then we've got the chase with 2 men from Astana, including Vincenzo Nibali. Bob Jungels, the Luxembourg national champion, and the youngest rider in the race. Maxime Bouet is there at the back of the group. This is Alexis Villemoz from AG Tour. Young mountain biker who was brought across to the Soja-Sun squad last year. It was a bit of a project for the team manager. The project is going well despite the fact that that team no longer exists. 24-year-old Dutchman at the front. Another example of the next generation of stars in world cycling. Kelderman, another one of the young Dutch riders doing the chasing behind. Well, Tom Jeltzer-Slagter, he's just 24 years of age, and the first 3 stages have been won by riders that slip into the under 25 category available for the white jersey. Tom Jeltzer-Slagter could make it 4 days running. Here comes John Degenkolb, the yellow jersey. He's got 1 teammate for support. Will it be enough? He'll be hoping to get some more resources from a few of the other riders in that group. A couple of riders in there from Garmin Sharp. They certainly won't assist with the chasing. One of the race officials just clearing out the gap to make sure that there is no advantage taken by Geraint Thomas or Tom Jeltzer-Slagter. Well, these roads are perfect for the breakaway, but the last 4 kilometres or so, it's relatively wide open roads. There's the chase being led by Arthur Bichot, the French champion. Greg Van Avermaet in the red colours. And now we return our attention towards the back. This is Jerome Capel. Maxime Bouet, the rider who sits just in front of him. I'd like to move a little bit further forward and see who that rider was from Tinkoff Saxo. Wondering whether Rafael Majka has been able to rejoin that group. Well, it's an alliance between these two. 35 seconds their advantage to the yellow jersey. Not exactly what it is to that group that is stuck in the middle. And that group in the middle does not include the King of the Mountains, the best young rider, nor the green jersey. The is Stibar in the black colours from Omega Pharma Quicksteppers. Roman Bardet now is making a move for AG2R. A Navic neutral service moving forward to provide service for the breakaway. This is Jakob Fuglsang now coming across for Astana. Nice move by Astana to play that double card with both Vincenzo Nibali and Jakob Fuglsang. Number one, Team Sky continuing their brilliant pattern. They're on a hat-trick to win this race overall and aiming to do it with a different rider each year. It was Bradley Wiggins in 2012, Richie Port last year, Geraint Thomas their big contender in 2014. Fuglsang, Bardet with Calderman doing the chasing. This is Lars Peter Nordhaug at the back. He's just returned to this group. Well, Geraint Thomas is a good man for Tom Slagter to be keeping company with. Strong individual time trialist, and he's a lot bigger than Tom Slagter. So when the Dutchman sits behind him, he'll get a lot of relief. 8 kilometres remaining. No great coordination within that group. Here's the yellow jersey of John Degenkolb. He may be able to return. It's going to be difficult. He's going to need some alliances in that chasing group because he's out of teammates. Number 1 and number 11. This looks like Marco Mercato in the green colours of Cannondale. Nimic now doing the job for Lamprey, bridging across to get on terms with Bardet. This is the Polish rider, Nimic at the front now for the Lamprey team. And this is where the road starts to open up, and it makes it just that little bit easier for the chasers as they can see their prey in front of them. Mouth wide open, gasping for air for Slagter. And you can see that big engine of Geraint Thomas. Would love the time check for group number 2. It's 30 seconds to the yellow jersey. This is Nimic. Here we go with the yellow jersey of John Degenkolb. At 30 seconds. He climbs so well for a sprinter. On a climb with gradients of 25%. And into that famous pursuit position that has brought him Olympic Games gold medals and world titles on the track. The big engine of Geraint Thomas. He might be dubbed Thomas the Tank Engine by the end of it. Here come the chasers. Trying desperately to get themselves organised. This is still a Goutier in the Europcar colours. 30 seconds, that's the gap to the yellow jersey. Not to the immediate chasing group. And as this group starts to reform, that second group on the road, they might lose a little bit of their impetus, which will be a big advantage to the 2 leaders. The chase trying to get themselves organised. Peter Stettina is at the front for BMC Racing. Degenkolb. The one teammate that he's got with him is Dries Devenant, new recruit across to the Dutch team. Here's a picture of concentration, Geraint Thomas. Tom Slagter. Almost having to pay for a cab fare as he sits tightly in the pocket of the strong Welshman at the front. Through the 5 kilometre to go mark, so that graphic that was up the top left-hand corner, a little bit deceptive. This is John Gadret from Movistar. Roman Bardet now coming through for AG2R. He is showing real leadership, Roman Bardet, after such a disappointing opening stage. Great maturity to bounce back and continue with the chase. This is Simon Yates. Good to see Simon Yates up towards the front of the race. He's in the group containing the yellow jersey in his first ever World Tour event. 4 kilometres. A distance that Geraint Thomas knows so well. He'd be able to interpret that 4 kilometres as 16 laps of the track. On the velodrome, he can do it in less than 4 minutes. That's as part of the team. You can see the black colours with David Lopez, a teammate of the man at the head of affairs, Geraint Thomas. He's trying to slow things down. And the Argentinian in that chasing group, Eduard Sepulveda, good performance by him. The globalisation of the sport. And 18 seconds to the yellow jersey. What's the quickest way through this medium strip? The question that has to be asked by Tom Slagter. He's decided the outside. Well, 18 seconds to the yellow jersey. You can see the disorganisation in the group now. BMC Racing with 3 riders in this group. Lotto Belisol have a couple there as well. Importantly for Lotto Belisol, Tony Galopin is in that group, so they will want to chase. Which is to the advantage of John Degenkolb. Flick of the elbow. Vincenzo Nibali now attacks. This is Vincenzo Nibali now on the move, and that's causing a reaction from David Lopez. The big Spaniard in the black colours, he wants to shut the Italian down as quickly as he can. After this shows, Lopez closes it down. Brilliant performance, David Lopez. Riding as a faithful teammate to Geraint Thomas. Vincenzo Nibali, he may well look across and protest, but he'll get nothing but smiles from David Lopez. This is Stibar now trying to move. Well, they continue to attack and the speed goes up and down continually. Stibar checks across the shoulder. Recently crowned the World Cyclocross champion for the 3rd time in his career. He really wants the Tour of Flanders later in the season. He clearly wants to be the first in Belleville along the way. 2 kilometres, 18 seconds. There's a little bit less than that to the immediate chasers, however. That 18-second gap is back to Degenkolb. And this Astana once again. It's Jakob Fuglsang this time, trying to move off the front. Gadre from Movistar moving up into 2nd position. And Goutier is also riding towards the head of the race for Europcar. That's the 1-2 from the Astana squad. First it was Vincenzo Nibali, this time through Jakob Fuglsang. Here comes Sylvain Chavanel trying to return. It's been a testing day for Chavanel. And the Italian, Luca Wackerman, 22 years of age, is just in front of him. 1 kilometre to the finish line. Well, it's been a small breakaway the last 2 years, the last 2 times the race has been here. And it could be the same case once again. This is Wilco Kelderman, a Dutchman chasing a Dutchman at the front. And that's only a handful of seconds, isn't it, as he goes underneath the kite. The nickname for Wilco Kelderman amongst many is Wilco Keldermerk. That's what the Dutch like to call him. They've got huge confidence in him having a big future. He's a strong time trialist, Wilco Kelderman. He'll need to put that to good use to close down on Tom Slagter and Geraint Thomas. They're almost to be caught. They cannot afford to play any games of cat and mouse. They can see the finish line now. 500 metres remaining. The time bonuses are all important as well. Tom Slagter is playing the cool hand at the back. He will not go to the front now. He'll just wait for his opportunity to open up the sprint. Kelderman continues to come. Tom Slagter, he opens up the sprint. Geraint Thomas tries to respond. He's not able to get into the slipstream. Slagter will take the stage and possibly open up a small gap to Geraint Thomas. It's Tom Slagter with a beautiful win in Belleville, and he's delighted with the team support along the way. Thomas was in 2nd position, Kelderman in 3rd. It was then Michael Matthews leading home the sprint for 4th. Here's the yellow jersey. And Degenkolb goes across the finish line. And with the time bonuses, PNStage4Slagter, it will be down to the seconds as to whether or not he gets the yellow jersey as well. Well, it could be Geraint Thomas, PNStage4Slagter, or John Degenkolb in yellow tonight. It's going to come down to those time bonuses and the exact timing across the line. This is Sylvain Chavanel. What a disappointing day for the Frenchman. He had such high hopes in this race. He is the story of this group, sitting in second position. Luca Wackerman, who led them across the line. Jelle Venendaert also in that group. Here's another look at it, the celebration. Very happy with the new team. PNStage4Slagter wins ahead of Geraint Thomas. Wilco Kelderman in third in the green colours, and the sprint being led home for fourth by Michael Matthews. Now this is a disappointing end of the day for Zendik Stibar. Slagter, Thomas, Kelderman, Matthews. In fact, it was Stibar in fifth position, so it was his teammate coming up behind him, Jan Bagland, perhaps. All smiles, PNStage4Slagter. Looking forward to seeing confirmation of the general classification as to whether Geraint Thomas will be moving into the yellow jersey. Well, that's one way to miserably walk across the finish line. Brilliant ride by these two. They've established themselves as the men to beat at the top of the general classification. There's a lot more big climbing to come, but it was a good crystal ball through to the next few days of racing.
Oui, Tom Slagter qui vient de s'asseoir. Tom, I guess it's a huge feeling because you won this stage of Paris. I guess it's just amazing. Je suppose que c'est évidemment énorme pour vous, une grande satisfaction.
I actually can't believe it. It's my first race of the season after one day on Mallorca, and yeah, I knew that the days before were really hectic. You can't feel and see how good you are, and yeah, today it was the best possibility to do something, and with that climb suits me really good, and that I could win, I didn't expect.
Oui, bah c'est sûr qu'en fait c'était, je savais pas trop où j'en étais parce que c'était seulement la deuxième course que je faisais après le Trophée de Majorque, et c'était l'occasion de se tester. J'ai vu que finalement j'étais très bien, et on a fait aussi une montée super rapide, donc c'est vrai que c'est extraordinaire. What did you think when you saw that you were in the last K with Geraint Thomas for the win? Qu'est-ce que vous avez dit dans le final avec Geraint Thomas?
I know Thomas, pretty good, and I knew he's fast and strong as well, so a really good rider. So I knew if I wanted to beat him, I had to wait and on the right moment to sprint. Otherwise, I would maybe lose. But it went perfect.
Oui, mais je savais que Geraint Thomas était très rapide, on se connaît très bien, et je me suis tout simplement dit qu'il fallait que j'accélère dans le dernier kilomètre et que je passe, et sinon c'était perdu, donc j'ai accéléré, j'étais plus rapide, et donc j'ai gagné. At the beginning of the week, I was speaking with Charlie Begalius, and he told me you were the leader of this team, and now you showed that he was right. Je discutais avec votre directeur sportif en début de sparring, et il me disait que le leader de Garmin, ce serait vous, et il avait raison de vous donner sa confiance.
Yeah, I think that was the job I had to do, so I think Charlie is happy.
Oui, c'était le travail que j'avais à faire, je l'ai fait, donc je pense que Charlie, mon directeur sportif, est heureux. Thanks a lot.
PNStage4Slagter taking the stage. Geraint Thomas in second position on the stage will move into the yellow jersey as the overall race leader. 3 seconds clear of Degenkolb, 4 clear of Slagter, Rojas in 4th position, Dumoulin 5th, Welkerman in 6th position, Bettencourt 7th, Stibar 8th, Goutier 9th, and Jenison rounding out the top 10 at 19 seconds behind. So Team Sky find themselves back in a familiar position with the yellow jersey to defend in the race to the sun. An outstanding stage.